Unshakable Day 3. I mean, I've got to be honest, Day 3 seems a lot more than Day 3. It feels like we've been here longer. But here we are, Unshakable, going for it. Kingdom that cannot be shaken. A little bit behind the scenes at C3. So welcome to everyone, C3 family. Anyone else that's joining us, it's great to have you with us. Yeah. Great to see people this morning when we were on devotions from Australia, South Africa, Scotland, all over. The Wirral. Welcome to the Wirral.
We're on the map now.
So we've done a little bit behind the scenes with our care, which if we can just again tell you, it just keeps going, guys. The food, we're primarily focusing on getting food out there. Another 30 hampers went out yesterday, and that's delivery to people that are self-isolating, so it's not connecting with them. We're doing all the 2-meter spacing in the building. Basically, our C3 Centre in Cambridge has been turned into a great food store. And that's wonderful for people that are got children at home that normally aren't, and elderly and people that are sick. It's been great to help them. So we're carrying that on. So if you can give in any way, go to our website, thec3.uk, and we'd love to have you partner with us. If you can give in time or if you can give in money, we can. What we're doing, particularly for Bury St Edmunds, is some of the money that's come in is buying food for over there and getting people locally to deliver rather than travelling here from Cambridge to that. So people from all over. We had someone from overseas as well contact.
Venice. Somebody contacted from Venice. Can you help out? Unfortunately, we can't send over anybody over on a plane right now, but maybe somebody locally would be able to put you in contact with somebody locally. We're going to try that.
We'll try and connect you up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we thought we'd look a little bit behind the scenes today about the way we've been putting our content together. Jamie Bambrick, who is our location pastor, central location pastor in Cambridge, has really been the mastermind, if I can say, behind that, and he's connected with all the guys, trying to keep them all together. So welcome to you, Jamie. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Nice to be with you here virtually. Sure, everyone's very excited to have me on. Who wouldn't be at this point? You know, I'm sure Donald and Boris will be joining at this point. All the other, I can't think of any other world leaders, but they'll all be tuning in to hear this very important interview.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I haven't heard from Boris recently, but I'm sure I will later on.
Rude. That's rude, isn't it? You'd think he'd be on the phone.
He usually comes on my TV once a night, actually. We usually check him out at 6 o'clock, but yeah.
That's kind of...
I did hear just before coming on here that Prince Charles has been diagnosed with coronavirus. So
yeah,
get well soon, Your Majesty. Anyway, back to more mundane matters. When you went into action, Jamie, very quickly, to say this is how we can do it. Just explain for everyone listening what you did do by way of drawing the teams together to get content out, particularly for Sundays, but beyond that.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it was interesting for me. We were we had some loose plans in kind of the Friday before that we went into. I think we cannot gather on the Monday, so we'd met on the Friday. And I think you'd sent through an email the night before saying, look, it's likely to get ramped up. And so at that point I was like, right, well, pull together a few different plans based on various different potential outcomes of whatever gets announced. So if it's gatherings of 500, here's what we do, 100 or whatever, or a full cancellation. So we did have a loose plan at that point, slightly in advance. Monday, I think, as in 10 days ago now, we were told we couldn't gather, and so we decided to schedule a meeting as a team. And if I'm honest, I was in church because we were due to host a gathering called Deeper, which is a small sort of discipleship gathering looking at spiritual disciplines for anyone who doesn't know. And I decided, well, we obviously had to cancel the gathering in compliance with that. I took a little bit of time to pray just in the auditorium because I had it. And I genuinely felt just, in one sense, obviously this is a very serious situation and we're taking it seriously, but a genuine sense of excitement at the opportunity that we had as a church. I don't quite know how God speaks to other people. I felt that normally for me, it's just a certainty of this is the thing that, is like we have to do right now. And so it was just, I had a certainty at that point that we as a church were set up and called to do something really amazing with our content side of things at that point, and that God was going to use us through that. So I think we discussed at that meeting, right, well, the two big things you'd said, care and content. And so at that point it was, right, well, that's what we'll do. So we spent we spent Tuesday then looking at, as a lead team with some others in there, about how we basically do this. We divided the staff into two sides. We said half of you are basically on care and looking at the Love Your Neighbour project. If anyone wants to find out, the c3.uk, click on the links, give us some money, all of that, help us out. So that side of things, half of the staff there, and then half of the staff on content. We hadn't sort of tried to divide it up that perfectly, but when we did the count on that, we realized we had 309 staffing hours per week on care and 310 on content. So we got it just about right. We need to move someone by half an hour one way to get it perfect. And then so we met as a staff at 3 p.m. on the Tuesday, announced that we were essentially doing this. And yeah, I think for me, I had thought, and I think we had all thought, there is a reasonable chance that this gets more extreme in terms of the measures that may be coming. And so we said, right, well, we may get into a full lockdown situation, so we need to get ahead of it. So I kind of threw out how about trying to get 10 Sundays in a week recorded? I think if we'd been any other place, any other workplace, any other church, I think you'd have got laughed out of the room suggesting that. But there wasn't a single person on the team who said anything other than yes. And there wasn't anyone who said, we can't do it. Everyone was like, yep, we're good. They all had plans. Kids had a plan. Youth had a plan. Byron had a plan. Josh had a plan. It was genuinely phenomenal. I have honestly never seen anything like it from a sense of unity, from a sense of gifting, from just that idea of a team coming together and rallying around, and everyone taking full ownership, full initiative of what it is that they have to do in a fairly critical situation for us, but also a big opportunity. And so I think Wednesday by the end of Wednesday, we had 5 studios built around the church. Just incredible. We started hitting record first thing basically on Thursday. We got kids content under the belt. We had volunteers coming in to help with it. And I don't know, it feels like, to me anyway, the Spirit of God has been on this in a way that I have never felt. I mean, I've been doing ministry for a fair while, I've been in great services. I've been in, up front. I've been behind the scenes. I have never felt the Holy Spirit on something as much as what we've done in this last week. It's been profound. I've been moved actually by it. I've sort of, I'm not emotional. I'm not wired that way. But I've had a couple of misty eye moments throughout all this, just observing what our team have pulled together on both sides of this care and content. It's been beautiful. It's been inspiring, and we basically got there. We basically got 10 services. We would have got the entire way there. We're gonna have to do a little bit of fancy editing and stuff to get it the whole way there. I think we have 8 solid services done, and with a couple of tweaks, we'll have the full 10. We would have got there if we'd had a week. We had 6 days. So yeah, just it's been a really incredible time actually, and very exciting in one sense.
Well done to you, the way you brought everyone together. I know everything was changing by the day, even the announcements we were getting and what we could do and couldn't do. So the flexibility that the team which you led had to have was incredible. This is a tough question, I guess. Everyone's saying, we're saying this, it'll never be the same. After this, things will be different. And I think that's true. At the moment, though, I'm not sure what that means. How will things be different? I said this morning in our devotions, I don't believe God is the originator of this, but I think he'll redeem it because he's a redemptive God. So he'll use everything for good in some way to advance the kingdom. Any thoughts, Jamie, how you think things could be different from that perspective at the end of this? And we don't know when the end is.
Yeah, great question. I think probably there's one of the things that I've seen and I've noticed is how I think the entire global church, and our church very much included, has suddenly turned outwards in a whole new way, and really started to say, right, because we can't gather, we have to get the message out. We can't have it just come in. We have to find ways to get the message out, and we have to find ways to take care of people in our community, and that is part of our mission and ministry as a church. I think that will shape the church deeply. I think churches that have been much more inward focused. I think we've always had, I think every church has the call to both, we call it reaching and shaping, so evangelism and discipleship. I think of course we have to shape, of course we have to care for and love and pastor and lead the people that are in our churches. There's no saying that takes a back seat now. That's still integral to the mission and ministry of the church. But in places where actually the church could be doing more, or individuals could be endeavoring to reach more, I think that's a shift that, I think potentially has real lasting changes. I know it's impacted me in that sense. We've always had nice plans of trying to, connect with our neighbours and, do something to reach them or reach out to them. Never figured out how to do it. But with the flyers, so people don't know, maybe we gave out 3,000 flyers on the last Sunday when we could gather, said love your neighbour, and offered basically help and put your details on them and put them through your neighbour's letter boxes. That for me was just like, oh, that's it. I mean, we've done that now, and that's been the first serious step I've taken to trying to connect with my neighbours that way. I think that's probably true for millions of people around the world. And so that's where I think the positive will come from this, or at least part of the positive is the church saying our mission has to be the people in our world around us, and trying to reach them.
What about the digital platform? I mean, it really has been an uplift, hasn't it, for us, what we've been doing digitally, difficult word. The impact of that, do you think long term, what that will look like for us? Yeah. I mean, absolutely. That's. I mean, we've been talking about church online. We've had church online at a fairly low key and small scale for some time, over a year, but suddenly ramped up just a little bit. You could say it's. I think we again, the last Sunday when we could gather, we had we just threw up like a raw feed onto the internet of our services. I think we had 19,000 views on Facebook with zero advertising, no plugging of it. We just put it out there, people connected. Those numbers have gone up. We've had thousands of people every day tuning into the stuff that we're putting out there, whether that is the
the more, full Sunday service, or it's just, you guys straight to camera. I think that is a massive opportunity. I think the Apostle Paul would have been fairly glad for the internet and probably used it. So yeah, I think it's forced us to look at that, which is a really beneficial thing. I think we've seen what we can do if we put focus onto it. And for me, the internet, I've sort of we're praying for Sarah Gilbert, who is our church online pastor. A couple of weeks ago, she just moved into that role, and I remember having the sense as we prayed for her, and I shared it, was that this is we always used to talk about, there's this historical thing in church circles of the town square and the city streets and getting out there, and absolutely true, still should be doing stuff in the physical environment outside of the church, but really the town square is the place of gathering, the place of swapping information and communication. That's what that is. That is the internet. And I remember at that point just having the sense that people who are working in that field are functioning as evangelists. We kind of think of evangelism as you've got to be door knocking or standing on a street corner. Again, not going to critique anyone who does that. There are different methods, and hey, God bless anyone doing whatever they're doing to reach people. But actually, I think the biggest opportunity to reach the most people with the message of Jesus is the internet. And so, yeah, it's I think that's the opportunity.
And someone got in touch from the prisons. I don't know whether you know how that came about, but I think it was you that had the conversation. Tell us about that and what's the potential reach and how that's working, because it's not a live link in the same way, so we won't be able to see the figures from that, I guess, but the potential's huge, isn't it?
Yeah. So we had we were filming some preaches. We had Jeff Lucas in, and by the way, tune in for Jeff Lucas, everybody. Great messages. So we were in filming, and I took a quick break between recordings, went upstairs to the offices and heard Sandra on the phone. She just heard her say, "Our central location pastor is here, why don't you chat to him?" So I stopped and got on the phone, and it was a guy from a media outlet that broadcasts a sort of private link into prisons around the UK. They have 50 prisons and 46,000 inmates that are represented there. And he said, happened, I don't know how he found it, but he saw our raw, like less produced, so our stuff since then has gotten better because we're really working on it now, our raw live feed, and said this was phenomenal, so inspirational. It's exactly what we need right now. Their faith services in prisons have all been cancelled for obvious reasons, and would you mind if we broadcast that into prisons for people to be able to connect with it? And so I thought about it for about a millisecond and said, yeah, I think that'll be fine. Please do. So we're getting them the feed in advance. We have pre-recorded, so we'll get it to them the final edit. And I mean, that's just a phenomenal opportunity where we are reaching places that, I mean, we couldn't, at any point in the near future be speaking to 46,000 inmates in 50 prisons around the UK in the flesh. I don't think if we had, we could have raised millions and we would never have gotten that sort of impact. But the fact that we chucked something up on the internet and hey, I believe in what we're doing, so it's good stuff that we're putting out there. But nonetheless, it wasn't anything super fancy. But the fact that you broadcast it, people pick it up. Yeah, really exciting.
Right. So tell us a bit now then, what's your day looking like? Obviously you're at home. We're trying to get everyone to work from home as much as possible, but yesterday I know you were out and about delivering as well with the care team. So what's your day look? I know you usually go to the gym. You can't go to the gym. So what are you doing to keep fit? Tell us.
Yeah, I haven't been doing much, to be honest. I'll figure that out. I do have weights in the garage, which I almost didn't bring over with me. from Northern Ireland, and I'm very glad I did. So I've got some weight. Yeah, days looking, they're probably going to look different over the course of time. At the minute, it's trying to figure out a little bit. We need to systematize a little bit. I've been trying to build. It's like trying to build an airplane whilst flying it. That's what we've kind of been doing recently. So you're sort of right. Okay, we need a wing. Let's get that on there. So we've had some vague sense of systems and rotas and schedules, because that's what you have to do to get the 10 weeks in a week. But I think we now need a proper system for some of this stuff. We need to figure out, how do we manage staff? How do we make sure that people are prioritizing the right things? We're probably over the hump in terms of content from the crazy intensity, because we knew a lockdown was likely. We've still got a lot of work to do on that, so I'll be trying to pull all that together. At the same time, it's trying to move some more people, where possible, into the love your neighbor side of things, delivering, packing. So yeah, we gotta figure all of that stuff out. So I'll probably be sitting. I'm here in my what was the spare bedroom, now office. So I have a mattress in that wall there. There's a bed tipped up against there. It all looks very tidy in behind me. I've done what I think is a reasonable job of the backdrop here. But yeah, trying to figure out how we run this and how we function as a staff team and continue to produce content for the next. I think we're reviewing it as the short-term future. We're probably we know we're likely to be in a full lockdown like this for at least 3 weeks. I think we're estimating at this point it's probably going to be 6. But we're probably not gathering as a church again for potentially longer than that. So we still need to be encouraging people, building their faith. We still have a duty to be the church. You guys have coined this phrase, and I think it's a great phrase. We've been using a lot, of being C3 wherever we are. We have to do that. We have to do that as a staff team. So things have changed very quickly. We now need to get some sort of system in place to sustain that in the long term, because this is probably it's a medium term at least situation like this.
Hey, we think our time is gone. Is there anything else we really need to talk about before we go off?
Well, I'd just say you haven't been very long on the team, really. So well done. Credit to you for all that you've pulled together. You've been fantastic. So welcome to C3 team, Jamie. Not Thank sure you. This is what you expected when you signed up, but
yes, I was actually. Can I share one thing? This is just a personal thing, but it might get edited out. Who knows? But I think whenever we got prayed for, we were here on a team night in September before joining the staff team, and someone shared with us a word about for such a time as this. Steve, I know you shared it with us when I got prayed in to lead team in January. I remember walking into church on the Wednesday after, it may have even been the Tuesday. It was just as this thing was all kicking off. It was in my head. Danny then, whenever I got home, said she had been thinking about it. My mum texted it to me. I have felt, I'm not saying that that's the sole, that this is the be all and end all, but I feel that I specifically, part of the reason that I'm here right now is for what we're doing. And so I felt genuinely privileged to be part of it. I think we've done something amazing. I think the church and the team and the volunteers have done something that has blown my mind. And it's changed me. It's changed how I view ministry and leadership in the most positive sense. If we could get to, if churches everywhere could work like this, not in terms of the intensity, but the unity and the gifting and the ownership, I tell you, the world would be a different place. So it's been a joy to be part of it.
Fantastic. Again, we got to go, but I would totally agree with you. When I look back over this last 12 months, which for us as a church was quite, or behind the scenes was quite intensive in bringing people on and different I just think God has set us up for this moment with the team, which very much includes you. And we were ready. We weren't ready, but you know, if we were going to be in any strong place, this was it. So I do believe for such a time as this, you're here.
Got the right pieces on the chessboard, definitely.
Yeah.
God planned it.
Okay, I think we're going to sign off. So thank you, Jamie, and we'll have you back on in the next few weeks. We don't know how long this is going for, but appreciate all you're doing. And again, to all of you watching, we appreciate you. We love you. We're for you. We're praying for you every single day. And we're believing that out at the end of this, because this will end, we will come out the other side stronger and things will have advanced in the purposes of God. That's our prayer and that's our faith. So we finish with our usual saying, we are
C3 wherever we are. Don't forget.
God
Love you guys. Speak soon. Bye for now. Thanks, Jamie.